21st Century Entrepreneurship with Martin Piskarik.
If you can share with us your personal and business journey. So what were the main events, main points in your life? How did you, I read your book, so I know the answer, but
Right.
for all people that...
Perfect. Okay, so first of all, thank you, Martin, for inviting me to the podcast. Really appreciate it. And as you probably have seen in my books and what we do at Lifestyle Prescriptions University, I'm super passionate about helping people, inspire people, educating about what we call the art and science of self-healing and lifestyle prescriptions, lifestyle medicine, mind-body connection, and also personal growth and consciousness. And the way we see it, it all kind of folds together into this oneness anyways. And so, you asked me, how did it start for me? I mean, I've always been interested in this spirituality, personal growth, but also I had a lot of health issues when I was younger, like with 17, 16, I had major eye problems. Conjunctivitis and burning eyes. And a couple of years later, I had other health issues like back pain and skin issues. So I had a lot of issues when I was really early, young. And even at that time, I kind of was wondering, how is it possible I'm 16, 17 and have these symptoms in it? And the eye issue was severe. And I just didn't get it, right? And so early on, I started to learn and say, hey, what's going on here, right? I was training in several complementary medicine practices, energy medicine, alternative medicine, and they're all wonderful. But I always felt something is missing, right? And now when we train at the university, we get the main reason why people study with us, and it's health coaches, it's medical doctors, chiropractors, really throughout the field, people that want to start becoming health coaches and experts, practitioners. They usually say, well, we tried so many different techniques and fields already, but we feel something is missing, right? So somehow bringing everything together, symptoms, body, mind, social, like what's actually really causing health issues, what's the process, right? Why sometimes, like in my case with my eyes, I had crazy burning eyes, and then the burning disappeared and they were really red. Or when I had back pain, like many years ago, I had such severe back pain that I thought I end up in the wheelchair. Right? And I was too young. I couldn't play tennis or any of the sports. I'm a very sporty kind of guy, and I couldn't do anything anymore. And I tried the traditional, I tried the complementary, chiropractic, right? And many different methods, and they all worked to a certain degree, but it always came back. I tried yoga. I was very much into yoga, and that helped me, right? From a 0 to 10, like when I had a 10, really bad back pain, with yoga and other methods, maybe it was going to a 5, right? It felt much better, but it was always there. And so early on, I had no clue what's causing that, right? And as I developed and as I learned also a lot from different experts in the field, I started to realize there's actually an art and a science of self-healing. There's nothing random, right? Which we often think, well, we just get something, I don't know, out of the blue it comes and then we have a symptom, we are sick. But that's not the case. It's our body is incredibly intelligent, right? There's so much intelligence and brilliance in our body mind. It's just if we don't have a plan, if we don't know what is happening, why is this happening, then usually we are fearful, we are in trouble, right? And I'd like all the listeners maybe look back or kind of remember the last time they had a symptom. And I had that really bad. I was, what's going on here, right? Why is this happening to me? And actually often you feel actually your life is improving and suddenly you become sick. I've heard this from actually a lot of our breast cancer clients. They say, I had a new partner. My life was improving so much, finally, right? And now I have this diagnosis, this symptom, and they don't understand why. And so the why is so important. For example, if we bring a car test breaks down or a smartphone breaks down and we don't know why, we get frustrated and say, what's going on here? Why is it breaking down? Right? If somebody tells us and says, Oh, the battery's dead. Oh, there's a software. I reinstall the software. Oh, okay, good, perfect. Let's do that. We have a solution. We feel in power. But health seems to be one of the few areas where we still have Stone Age kind of thinking, right? It's like something's broken. Oh, let's just throw all the bombs, all the treatments. Let's throw it at that problem, so to speak. But we don't really know why did it happen and what's the process of that self-healing. And so the why is incredibly important. And that's why the first book in the Lifestyle Prescriptions Self-Healing Made Easy book series, it just came out, and actually everybody can download it for free on lifestyleprescriptions.org/book, or just go to Amazon and Google, and search for lifestyle prescriptions. You find it there too. And that's all about the root causes. And what our clients tell us, even the practitioners that study with us, they all say, it makes a difference in the world if I know why I had suddenly back pain, why I suddenly have an eczema on my skin, why I have acne, why I have high blood pressure. No matter what health issue, even the serious ones like more diabetes or even cancer, it's not random. And that's the skill that actually we are really good at. Lifestyle prescriptions is what it says, right? Our doctors and therapists, they write lifestyle-based, habit-changing type of prescriptions. But what we're really good at finding the root cause. What's happening? What triggered us or a specific organ to react with a symptom? So it's not just that it happens out of the blue. There's always a very clear process where we're triggered into stress, right? Something triggers us. And let me give you a couple examples, maybe in a minute. Something triggers us into stress, and that the symptoms are it's a sign, it's kind of a feedback mechanism that the body has. And, I worked 20 years ago, last 15, 20 years ago, very intensely with biofeedback technology. And actually just recently we developed ThermoBuzzer, which is a very mobile thermography imaging device that health professionals can use. And it's just brilliant when you have feedback, right? Let's say you feel stressed and you see it right away on the screen that your body temperature, the infrared radiation, so to speak, or energy in your body changes, or other biofeedback. And
and there are some links on your website, if I remember correctly.
Yes, there's also about the ThermoBuzzer is on the website lifestyleprescriptions.org. Let's just Google it. That's the easiest way. It comes up right on the top.
One question regarding the why. If we can go back just for a moment. When I started wondering why 15 years ago or something like that, when I started practicing awareness, getting into awareness, I realized after a few years that it was not enough. That after I started being aware of the symptoms, of the issues, problems, whatever you want to call it, then I needed something else. And in my case, it was acceptance. What is the case regarding your model?
Well, I like what you said. See, like awareness is the first key on any kind of transformation or growth or evolution. But often, if we have awareness, we start to be aware of maybe the negative unresolved emotions, the stress we have in our lives, the lifestyle, like diet and exercise that is not up to the level it could be. The problem we found is the beliefs that we have about health. Because if we have a belief, for example, that something is wrong with my body, then it makes sense to fight it, to fight against it. Right? If let's say, let's use cancer as an example, because that's usually the most extreme view. If we feel that a tumor that grows in our body there's something wrong with our body or that organ or that tissue, then, let's cut it out, let's fight it, let's radiate it, operate it, right? Chemo and all this stuff makes sense. And we have the same mentality in general because we've been educated that way. But if we actually know about the art and science of self-healing, and we know that actually Our body is just showing that's a symptom, a sign that something needs to be changed, that something needs to be addressed. There are certain root causes that we need to address. And once we do, the body can, in the majority of cases, can go back to its natural state, where symptoms start to disappear, where we have so much more energy. And it's not just physically, but it's also emotionally and spiritually, because we start to grow, because we change internally. We change our thoughts, we change our emotions, we change our perception of life. And so there are many ways how we can, participate in that self-healing process. Awareness is the first of them, and then the question is what are the root causes, what's actually triggering. And I can go into some examples if you'd like to.
21st Century Entrepreneurship with Martin Piskarik.
Spread the word by leaving a rating and review on iTunes.
What I like regarding your first book is an art and science of self-healing that incorporates our full being, including emotions, thoughts, desires, perceptions, and the context per se. So, if I understood it well, basically there are a lot of steps between why, so between awareness and acceptance and transformation, definition of where the focus is, that grows. So basically, if I'm focused on the issue, on the problem, then the problem grows. Then I can't think out of the box. So the importance of using those, what you call triggers, to trigger out of the focus.
Yeah, so absolutely. So, as you said, like energy flows where attention goes, or whatever we focus on, where our attention is, that's growing. And it's growing in the brain, like the brain cells grow on what we focus on in these areas. And so the first part is awareness. So what's actually triggering a certain symptom? And then what are the steps I can do to let go of some of these stressors and emotions and the beliefs that holding me back? And mindfulness, awareness is the first step, but usually there is more needed. That's from our experience. And let me make it a practical example. So I had a client just recently that a child, actually about 6 years old, 6-7 years, suddenly developed strong eczema on the skin. Right? So it's called neurodermatitis. It's an eczema type of hot, inflamed, very itchy type of skin, sometimes more, sometimes less. So the traditional perspective, even complementary medicine perspective would be, well, let's treat it with different medications and natural or pharmaceutical and treat the symptoms. Now, that's a good thing, but to a certain degree, but often we create a chronic process and it usually doesn't go away if we don't address the root cause. So once we know the art and science of self-healing, that we know that the eczema is part of the repair phase, regeneration phase, actually that's a good thing, and that every organ tissue, including the skin epidermis, the thin layer of the skin, in the stress phase, we don't have any symptoms, so not much. It's kind of pale skin. It's not that itchy. And when there's stress, the first part, there's stress, and the stress is about separation anxiety. Mm-hmm. So whenever that child feels anxious and feels like I have to, my mom that was there, and in this case, the kid had to go to school and felt like I don't see my mom anymore. That was a very traumatic and felt like there is a loss of touch. I can't touch my mom anymore. It's very biological, right? It's not just in our mind. It's the biology. Our body is brilliant. Our body is the seat of consciousness. Consciousness, body, mind is directly linked with each other. So when we experience these traumatic, conflictive type of experiences, our body reacts. And it's not that that's a problem. That's actually a good thing, because the skin, for example, when there is a stress, I feel really anxious and there's a separation anxiety, it becomes less sensitive. So I don't feel that anxiety as much. Then when I don't think about this anymore, I'll somehow resolve it, the pressure of this anxiety is less, then the body says, oh, finally, now I can repair. And that repair process is a little inflammation, it's itchy skin, and usually after a few days it disappears. the problem that we have in our society right now is that the majority of health issues, about 70-80%, are chronic health issues. So they repeat each other. They start and they just never complete. And that's where we as health professionals have to come in and guide the clients and show them ways how they can step out of this chronic process. And there are like a few things that we found needs to be done. First of all, we've always seen an emotional component. Some of our chiropractic doctors or doctors that work with energetic type of lifestyle prescription medicine, they say about 80-90% of health issues have an emotional component. And the uniqueness is that every organ tissue, every symptom has a very specific emotion. It's not random again, right? We think, oh, I'm angry, oh, it could be any part of my body. But anger, as an example, is usually stomach mucosa. That's where the anger seems to be connected with or attached, the digestional tract. Sadness, for example, often is eyes. Fear is also the eyes, the retina, for example, or the lungs, the bronchial mucosa. So emotions are very powerful. And what anybody listening can do, just ask that question. Tune into your body, right? Wherever your symptom is, and really connect, feel that part, and ask that question, what emotion is connected with that specific symptom? It's that easy. And for most of us, it comes up if we let it. It just pops up, right? And usually our mind comes in and we say, oh, no, it can't be. Just accept that, right? Say, And the big aha experience that all of us have is when we connect our life, right? What's happening in our life, the thoughts, the emotions, the life situations we experience, the stresses we have in our lives. Once we connect them to our physical body and our symptoms. And that's the first step of awareness, because then we connect them and now we have the tools. We know what to do. We know the why and we know the process, and then we can do something about it. So emotions are very important. Check what unresolved emotional hurt is connected with that specific symptom and that organ tissue. The second thing is what's triggering it. Because if everybody listening, if you just go back, right? So usually we have these thoughts or these stressors that just suddenly out of nowhere seem to appear in our life. I just had yesterday a session with someone and he said, every couple of weeks I seem to have this pain in my shoulder and it just comes back again and again and I don't know why. And there's always a trigger. Something triggers us, our body really, our organs, into this stress phase. And typical triggers are we talk to somebody on the phone that we have a very bad memory from the past. We see someone that remembers us about a stressful situation, or we have an actual traumatic, highly significant emotional event. They seem to be so linked with our biology. It's absolutely amazing. And some of these typical traumatic events are affecting very specific organ tissue. Again, it's not random. So for example, as I said before, separation anxiety, this feeling of loss, like often after a divorce, a child that is taken away, ripped apart from the mom with a few days in the hospital, right? The touch of the mom is the most important thing in their life. That's how they connect survival to it, right? They want to touch the mom. Taken away, they have skin rashes. If somebody puts us down and says, or we do it ourselves, right? Which happens often too. You're not good enough. I'm a bad mother. I'm a bad business person. I can't do this. I can't do that. That seems to affect our skeletal system, because our skeletal system is about strength, stability, right? Biology. If we cannot digest very specific big chunks, right? Something major happens in our life, we don't know how to digest it, small, large intestine. If we have a lot of territorial fights, we call it territory because that's the animal language, right? We have territories and we have to defend our territories. That's, for example, stomach mucosa, it's prostate, it's rectum mucosa, and different several other organ tissue in our body. If we feel disempowered, where we feel like powerless, we kind of don't know how to deal with life or specific situations in our life. Thyroid. And we know that's a big issue, right? Majority of almost everyone that I've talked to, at least, that has thyroid issue, they have this feeling of disempowerment, right? Feeling powerless towards the situation in their life.
We have beautiful flow, we have beautiful energy flow. And for some people that are more mind oriented, now it's a good time. Let's bring them the model per se.
Yeah, that's totally fine. So basically, on the research we've done with our group of Lifestyle Prescription University practitioners, health professionals, we've seen there are 6 root causes that we need to really look at. And that matters if we are into health, we want to heal ourselves, if you work with clients, or also in terms of the personal development. And so the 6 root causes are that basically every organ tissue in our body, every symptom we have is connected with very specific stressors. So there's a very specific stressor that triggers our organ tissue, our body, into reactions. There are very specific emotions, or one emotion that is connected to that reaction in our system. There's a very specific belief, thought process that pops into our head on a regular basis when we are triggered. There is a social component, which is basically we creating our reality based on the thoughts, the beliefs, the emotions, and the perception of stress that we have. And especially in terms of self-healing, we notice that this social environment, increasing love and support, finding real life solutions is really important. And then obviously we have lifestyle, which is basically nutrition, sleep, which is fitness, exercise, and mindfulness. And obviously lifestyle has been researched the most. There's so much research out now about lifestyle medicine that proves if we just focus on that one root cause, just lifestyle alone, we can improve so many things in our lives, like the vitality, the energy. We clean out our system, our pipes in our body, the brain, the cells in our body, vitalize. So that's absolutely essential. But we also notice that, and so many of us live rather healthy, have a good diet, exercise, do some mindfulness, and still we experience these physical symptoms. And that's where the other 6 root causes come in. So the specialty at Lifestyle Prescriptions University is that we offer trainings for health professionals, any type of health professionals. And the beauty is we have in our classes doctors, naturopaths, psychologists, nurses, energy, psychology practitioners, physical therapists, spiritual healers. They're all in our class. And because they learn the art and science of self-healing, they suddenly have a language where they can talk to each other. It's a truly holistic model. And on the website, lifestyleprescriptions.tv, there's a starter kit that everybody can download, and just it has the videos and you can learn. There's also the book is available on the website, lifestyleprescriptions.org/book, which basically talks about the 6 root causes and what the art and science of self-healing is, and what lifestyle prescriptions are, the process of writing lifestyle prescriptions with clients. So and also we have a directory of our practitioners. So if you feel like, I need some help, I really want to find out which stressor in my life, which emotion, which belief, which social situations or lifestyle habits affect my specific symptom, then talk to one of our practitioners. They give 15 minutes or 20 minutes free session, and you learn so much already, and you can work with them. because we found there's so much we can do. In a minute, we talk about that more. There's so much awareness we can create. But we also found that it's so helpful. It speeds up the process tremendously working with someone that is trained in lifestyle prescription and root cause analysis and knows the art and science of self-healing.
If you can give us one short exercise.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one way to experience the art and science of self-healing is to connect with our body's natural healing intelligence. And so I'd like to guide you through a very simple process. And what I'd like you to do is basically just, so have a little bit of time so you can really internalize and feel yourself inside, get in touch with your body, and start to feel that body's intelligence. And what's going to happen probably is that different thoughts come up, different beliefs pop into our heads. And what I'd like you to do, connect with your body, maybe a certain part of your body, a certain organ, maybe in the chest, stomach area, wherever you'd like to create light or more awareness into. And whenever you do, start to notice that your body is incredibly intelligent. It's the most beautiful vehicle that we have. And start to change and adjust your thinking, your beliefs whenever you have a symptom in your body, whenever you experience certain stressors in your life, you feel certain emotions, you have certain thoughts that pop into your head. Start to create awareness and also distance between these thoughts, emotions, and body sensations and you. Because you are the consciousness, the awareness that experiences life in this beautiful way. And one of the things that we found, or I personally, for me, it was the biggest learning lesson, is that I look at my body, I perceive my body as this brilliant vehicle of consciousness, because there is direct link between a direct connection, a oneness between our body, our emotions that we experience in our body, the thoughts that we have that create our reality, and our awareness, our consciousness. So trusting your body, creating this deep, deep inner trust into your body's ability to heal itself and to grow, is going to move you forward tremendously. And what I'd like you to do just over the next days and weeks and months, increase that awareness, that whenever you experience a symptom, just step back for a second and say, interesting, and start to watch it. And emotions might come up, maybe fear or maybe anger, that, why do I have this again, right? But then step back, create distance. And the more you create distance and ask yourself, how is that connected with my life? How can I change my life? Maybe letting go of emotions, forgiveness, forgiving myself or others, emotions that I had maybe just recently or for a long time, that I start to become aware of the stressors in my life. Whenever I talk to someone or whenever I experience a situation, I become very stressed and highly emotional, and thoughts come into my mind, and we create awareness. And that's where mindfulness and awareness is a very powerful first step to really transform and heal and thrive internally. So create that awareness and that increased energy in your mind and in your body, and just trust your body's intelligence.
If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review on iTunes.
21st Century Entrepreneurship with Martin Piskarik.